the type of reading we're going to do today is called FASE reading. Okay, it's a style of reading that I really want to work on with you guys. It's an acronym, okay, and it stands for fluent, accountable, social, and expression. Okay, so each of those, what that means is it's like a better version of popcorn reading. Okay, so each of you, right, will be at any random point. I'm going to call on you to read out loud. And you're gonna, it might be halfway through a sentence, it might be at the end of a paragraph, and you're gonna read as long as I have you reading for until I say somebody else's name and tell them to pick up. So you might have to pick up in the middle of a sentence or halfway through a paragraph or something. It's not always
trying to keep us in the book
so
we don't.
Keeps you engaged, but here's the thing I'm doing while you're reading. I'm listening for expression, that's the E in phase, and also really wanting to give you feedback and correct you if you're like skipping words or leaving words out. So you've got to read with prosody, like what we've been working on. That's important, right? But the social part, the S, right, of phase, is that like we're reading all together as a class still, so that we can be thinking about what we're reading. When we finish a section, then we're going to do our brain dump, turn and talk, and then gist statement to summarize what happened in that section of text to really work on our summarizing skills. Okay? So follow along with me on page 89. I'm going to start reading, and then I'm just going to start calling on people to read with expression. And don't be offended. Like if I give you feedback on mispronouncing a word or something that I want you to try to reread, sounding out something, or reading it with more expression or prosody, like that's just a part of this. You're getting coached by me essentially on how to do this. Yeah, you're good. I think somebody just had a bookmark in here. It's probably mine here. Okay, chapter 11.
Wait.
We had been walking in silence through the night until we stopped to listen to the singing of morning birds shattering the silence of the day. As we sat on the side of the path, Mariba began to sob. He was sitting away from us, something he usually did with Saidu. He played with a piece of branch, trying to distract himself from what he was feeling. What had happened to Saidu, folks?
Yeah,
I ate the bird that ended up like potentially having some kind of infection. Everyone except me started to sob and moved next to Mariba, who was now crying loudly. I sat by myself, covering my face with the palms of my hands to hold back my tears. Hadley, pick up.
After a few minutes, my friend stopped crying. We continued on our way without saying We continued on without saying a word to each other. We all knew that we could breathe only for a short while in order to continue staying alive. I look forward to getting to this village. I will give my mother a very tight hug. Alhaji smiled and they continued. She always complains, though, when I give her a tight hug. If you love me, stop squeezing my old bones so I can be alive longer.
Josh, pick up.
She's funny. We giggled. I have a feeling that we will find our families, or at least news of them. Kanye stretched his hands as if he was trying to catch the sun. He looked at Alhaji, who was smiling uncontrollably. I heard you have a beautiful sister. I am still just your friend, right? We all started laughing. Alhaji jumped on Kanye's back, and they began to wrestle in the grass. When they were done, they followed us on the path.
Maddie, yeah.
Sing one of S.C. Raji's songs, nor look me that eye, nor lay me like that, right?
Yeah, it's like it's like almost like their regional dialect. So like that would be like that. Yeah, just a different dialect.
Okay. We joined in and sang as if we were having one of life's most glorious moments, but slowly silence returned and took over. One side of the sky was completely blue, and the other was filled with
Stagnant
clouds. The quiet breeze caused the branch to sound in the forest. The echo sounded like a cry, a wailing.
I wasn't the only one who noticed it, because my friend stopped briefly and listened attentively. The breeze picked up its pace, the leaves of the trees began to rub against each other, resisting the wind. More branches snapped in the forest, and the wailing intensified. The trees looked as if they were in pain. They swayed in all directions and slapped each other with their branches. The clouds rolled over the blue sky and it became dark. A heavy rain followed with thunder and lightning that lasted for less than 15 minutes. Afterward, the sky returned to its bluest.
Oh, let's try that one again because your voice stayed high. What do you do when you get to a period?
To its bluest.
There you go. Go down. Yeah.
I walked perplexed
Yes, correct.
in my soaked clothes under the sun. At nighttime, it began to rain again. The strands of rain fell brutally from the sky, whipping us.
Trinity, pick up.
We walked for most of the night, wiped the water
Oh,
off,
try again. Wipe. What's the suffix there?
wiping the water off our faces in order to sleep. It became unbearable to continue, so we sat at the front of a huge
Ooh, at the what? Of huge trees?
huge trees.
There you go. Good.
Whenever the lightning lit the forest, I could see everyone sitting. We all had our faces resting on our knees, and our one was
Go down one line. Good.
our
Arms.
arms.
Good. Keep going.
The last hours of the night were gone.
Oh, we're what? We're what?
Um,
There you go. You got it. Stick with it. You're doing great.
by the time the rain stopped, it was like we were all shivering, our fingertips pale and very cold.
Stormy, pick up.
We looked at soaked chickens. Musa
Who's that?
said, laughing as we emerged from under the trees. We found an opening where the sun had begun infiltrating, and we squeezed and spread our shirts on tops of bushes and sat in the sun to dry ourselves. It was almost midday when we put on damp clothes and continued walking. A few hours later, we heard a cockcrow in the distance. Musa jumped in the air, and we all began to laugh. Finally, we were approaching the village where seeing our families was actually a possibility. I couldn't stop smiling. Coffee trees began to replace forests, and footprints appeared on the path. We heard rice being pounded and whispers in the breeze. We quickened our pace as these sounds assured us that life was ahead. On the opposite side of the coffee farm was a small banana farm. There we came across a man cutting down hands of ripe bananas. We couldn't see his face as
His.
his head was behind the leaves.
Okay, I'll pick up. Good afternoon, Kane said. The man peeped at us from behind a banana leaf. He wiped the sweat off his forehead and walked toward us. As he approached, slowly making his way through the noisy dried banana leaves, the sight of his face awakened my memory. His face was a little wrinkled now, and he was much skinnier than when I had last seen him. His name was Gaston, Gaston. He used to be one of the notorious single men in my town. Back then, everyone talked about him not being married. The older people always remarked, he's old enough and responsible enough to find himself a good wife, but he likes to be alone. He likes that loose life. He never said anything back then and didn't get upset by what they said. He cooked his own food, and when he was too tired to cook, he ate gari with honey. There was a period of time when he ate gari with honey for over a week. My mother decided to dish him out a plate every evening. That food is unhealthy for you, she said to him, and he smiled, rubbing his head. Stormy, pick up.
When Gaston
Gaston. Good.
was by the path, he stopped and examined our faces. He smiled, and that was when I became sure that he was the
Yeah, Nagor.
Gaston I knew, because he was missing a front tooth. You boys want to help me carry some bananas to the village? He asked, in the manner that adults usually ask young people, so that we knew he wouldn't take no for an answer. Come on.
Maddie, pick up.
He motioned for us to follow him into the banana farm. All of us started walking past him as he continued waving his hand as if he was pulling us with an invisible rope. When I approached him, he put his hand on my shoulder and rubbed my head. Are you still a troublesome boy? He pulled on my note. Hold on, it goes. There is no time to be troublesome these days, I said. I see. I see that you look very sad. Your forehead used to glow naturally. When you were just a child, your parents and I used to discuss how unusual that was.
Haley, pick up.
We thought it was because you were happy all the time. Your mother said you even smiled while you slept. But when you started your troublesomeness and were angry, your forehead glowed even more. We didn't have any other explanations for your forehead and how it related to your character, and here you are. It isn't shining anymore. He paused for a minute, looking at me. He walked away and began instructing my traveling companions
Oh, try again on that word.
companions
There you go.
how to pick up a hand of bananas